Grace's Letter to Lincoln, Chapter 9. Grace's wish for freedom for the slaves took 3 years and a civil war before coming true. But on February 16, 1861, Grace's second wish did come true. In the early afternoon, Grace heard the sharp, piercing whistle of the steam engine chugging across Chautauqua Creek Gorge. "I can see smoke," a boy on a lamppost yelled. Grace stood on her tiptoes to get a better look. Helen moved out of her way. All Grace could see was a banner with bold letters stating, "Welcome to the Empire State." "I can't see a thing," Alice muttered. "How I let you talk me into coming out into the freezing cold, I'll never know." A long, low whistle drifted through the air. Hundreds of people waved flags and shouted as the steam engine hissed to a stop. A band played Old Dan Tucker. "It's like an Independence Day parade," Helen said. Everyone got quiet. A tall man with a beard stepped onto the platform. Grace stood on her tiptoes. She could not believe her eyes. Abraham Lincoln had a beard. "Well, dog my cats," whispered Papa. "He did grow whiskers." "3 cheers for Mr. Lincoln," someone shouted. The crowd burst into cheers. "Hip, hip, hurrah! Hip, hip, hurrah! Hip, hip, hurrah! 3 times 3 cheers for the Union!" 9 booing cheers followed. Mr. Lincoln held up his hands for quiet. "Seeing the large crowd of people, I came out to look at you. I suppose you came here to look at me, and from the large number of ladies I see in the crowd, I think I may have gotten the much better of the bargain." The crowd laughed and clapped. "During the campaign last fall, I received a letter from this place, and a very pretty letter it was, too. It was written by a young girl, whose name, if I remember rightly, was Miss Bedell." Grace stopped breathing. Had Mr. Lincoln really said her name? "Among other things," Mr. Lincoln continued, "she advised me to let my whiskers grow as it would improve my personal appearance. Acting partly on her suggestion, I have done so, and now, if she is here, I would like to see her." No one moved. No one talked. Everyone looked around. Johnny, from his perch on the lamppost, cried out, "There she is, Mr. Lincoln!" As if by magic, the crowd parted in front of Grace. "Let's go meet old Abe," Papa said. He took her hand. It seemed as if an hour passed as Grace walked toward the train. As she got closer, Mr. Lincoln seemed to grow taller and taller. Mr. Lincoln stepped down from his car. He lifted Grace high into the air, then he kissed her on both cheeks. "You see, my dear," he said, "I let these grow for you. Perhaps you made me president." Grace blushed. She touched the whiskers. She couldn't say a word. She just looked into his kind eyes twinkling at her. A whistle shrieked. Abraham Lincoln bowed and went back to the train. The crowd cheered and cheered. The train moved slowly out of Westfield. The crowd kept shouting, "Hurrah for Lincoln! We'll stand by you, Abe!" Papa bent down. He whispered in Grace's ear, "Do you think I should grow a beard too?" Papa laughed and tugged on her father's mustache. "Beards are for presidents, not papas." Then she waved at the disappearing train carrying President Abraham Lincoln to the White House.